Hello there. My name is Razzo, and I want to welcome you to my channel. I'm the kind of guy that loves making characters as much as I enjoy playing D&D. In this video series, I plan to share some of my favorite builds that I have stored away. I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. In today's video, I'm going to use the resources on D&D Beyond to create a fun melee build with a theme everybody enjoys. Pirates. I love playing pirates. This is going to be great. We'll sail the seven seas, we'll put on eye patches, we'll cut off our legs and glue on wooden ones. Okay, maybe that's a bit extreme, but we can still have a lot of fun playing this build. Today, I present to you the Seawolf. Now that I have D&D Beyond opened up, we can get started with building this character. The first thing you want to do on this Home tab, scroll down to Optional Features, make sure that you have Customize Your Origin selected. That's going to play a big role in our next step. We're going to choose the half-elf race, and then we're going to go into Origin Manager and select Origin Ability Score Increase. Traditionally, half-elves have a +2 in Charisma and a +1 to 2 other stats. When you select this, it lets you bump that +2 off of Charisma into another stat. For that +2, we're going to go ahead and select Dexterity, and then we're going to put 1 in Charisma and 1 in Constitution. The other neat things about half-elf is they have dark vision, like the majority of the races in D&D. They have Fey Ancestry, which has advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic can't put us to sleep. And we can also pick 2 skills of our choice. This character's kind of going to be a skill monkey in my opinion, so we're going to go with Perception and Deception. For languages, I'm not going to go into details, just pick your favorites. We're going to jump ahead to ability scores next. We're going to use the point buy method. I like it when my skill monkeys don't have any negatives to stats. Even on other builds, I don't like to min-max completely with my ability scores. Just a personal opinion. We're going to start with a 10 strength. We're going to put our dex at a 14 with a +2 from half elf, making it a 16. Constitution's going to be 15, which with that +1 from half elf makes it a 16. Intelligence and wisdom, we're going to put at a 10. And then we're going to put the rest of our points in charisma, which will make it a total of 14 after our racial modifiers. Now for this particular build, dexterity is our main stat. We're going to be in melee, so I like to have a good constitution. Later on, we're going to pick up some features that are going to be based off our charisma, so that's why we went with this particular stat layout. The next step, we go over to description, and we're going to pick our background as pirate. They'll give us 2 skills, one of which is athletics. The other one, I'm going to go ahead and pick stealth. This also gives us proficiency with navigator's tools and water vehicles. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go pick our class. For the first level, we pick fighter. The important thing about going fighter first is it gives us proficiency in any armor we want. It also gives us proficiency in shields. That's the important part. We really want to be using a shield with this build, that +2 to AC and melee. Wonderful. Also going to give us a fighting style, which we are going to pick defense. If you wanted to pick dueling, you could, but I prefer to be a little bit tanky with this particular character. We're eventually going to want to get our enemies to attack us instead of our allies, so that +1 to AC really feels good to me. For our proficiencies, here's a little trick. We're going to select athletics, and you see down here background proficiency removed. We can go and change the background athletics to something else in a moment. For the other skill, we're going to go ahead and pick intimidate. When we jump over to the description tab, you see what was previously athletics gets changed out. We can pick another skill of our choice from anything we want. I personally am going to go with persuasion. So to recap level 1, we took a level in fighter. That's going to give us fighting style, which I chose defense. You could also choose dueling. You're going to do a 16 in dexterity, a 16 in constitution, a 14 in charisma, and 10 in the rest of the stats. For skills, we're going to have athletics, deception, intimidate, perception, persuasion, and stealth. We'll also have navigator tools and water vehicles. Now for this build, we're going to be using a sword and a one-handed weapon. We are a dex build, so we want to be using either a rapier or a short sword, something that uses dex, so a finesse weapon. Moving on to level 2, we're going to multiclass into rogue. If you want to skip this level and take the rogue level later, that is an option. Me personally, I like going this route because it gives me more proficiencies. I like to take sleight of hand, and it also gives us thieves' tools. For our expertise, I like to go with perception and thieves' tools because that's going to make us really good at getting rid of those traps or unlocking doors. And we also get the chance to add a 1d6 sneak attack die whenever we attack with a finesse weapon. We either have to have advantage on the attack roll, or the enemy has to have one of your allies within 5 feet of it. Moving right along, we're going to go ahead and pick Fighter 2. That is going to give us Action Surge, which this lets us take an additional action on our turn once per short rest. Pretty strong. For our next level, we're going to take another level of Fighter. This gives us the opportunity to pick Battle Master as our archetype, which gives us Student of War, so we can pick any sort of artisan tool we want. You know, pick your favorite on that one. It also gives us Combat Superiority, which gives us superiority dice, which we can use to further enhance our combat skills. We get to pick 3 maneuvers that uses these superiority dice. And for our first set of maneuvers, we're going to pick Brace. When a creature you can see moves into the reach you have with the melee weapon you're wielding, you can choose one reaction to expend 1 superiority die and make 1 attack against the creature using that weapon. If the attack hits, add the superiority die to the weapon's damage. We're also going to pick Repose. When a creature misses you with a melee attack, you can use your reaction to expend 1 superiority die to make a melee attack against the creature. If you hit, you add the superiority die to the attack's damage rolls. Now the theme between these two is that they let us make an attack against a creature outside of our turn. That's pretty important because it also lets us add that sneak attack damage. Because if you look over at Rogue Sneak Attack, it says once per turn you can deal an extra d6, not once per round. So on anybody else's turn, including yours, you can add that sneak attack die. So part of this build is get a sneak attack on your turn and then use your reaction to try and get another sneak attack on somebody else's turn. For our final combat maneuver, we're going to pick Goading Attack. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can spend 1 superiority die to attempt to goad the target into attacking you. You add the superiority die to the attack's damage roll, and the target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed saving throw, the target has disadvantage on all attack against targets other than you until the end of your next turn. This lets us kind of taunt enemies away from our allies, and if they miss us, we can use that repose action. This is why we want to use that defensive fighting style and that shield to give us +3 to our AC. Now, one thing about these combat maneuvers is they use these superiority dice, and those reset on a short rest. So it's not like you have to hold these all day long. You can be using them to try and get as many sneak attacks off as you can. Don't be afraid to use them. If you don't use them before your short rest, well, they're lost. For our next 3 levels, we're going to dump those into Fighter. That's going to net us 2 ability score increases or feats. So the first one, we're going to go ahead and put +2 into Dexterity. Bring our Dexterity to an 18. Other one, we're going to pick up a feat called Sentinel. When you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, the creature's speed becomes 0 for the rest of the turn. Creatures provoke attacks or opportunities from you even if they take the disengage action before leaving your reach. When a creature within 5 feet of you makes an attack against a target other than you, and the target doesn't have this feat, you can use your reaction to make a melee weapon attack against the attacking creature. This synergizes well with the trying to get extra attacks off on somebody else's turn. We're also trying to get people to attack us instead of our allies. This is why I went with the tanky build as opposed to dueling. But if you want to play a little bit riskier, you can add +2 damage to each of your damage rolls with your one-handed weapons. In addition to those 2 ability score increases and feats, we get extra attack, which lets us attack twice instead of once when we make the attack action on our turn. So that's 2 chances to get that sneak attack dice on our turn. Now for our next level, we're going to go ahead and take another level of Rogue. This gives us cunning action. As a bonus action, we can use the dash, disengage, or hide to let us, get in a position to be next to our allies a little bit easier so we can take advantage of that Sentinel feat. And then after that, we're going to take another level of Rogue to give us our archetype and what kind of pirate would we be if we didn't pick Swashbuckler. Gives us fancy footwork. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you learn how to land a strike and then slip away without reprisal. During your turn, if you make a melee attack against a creature, that creature can't make an opportunity attack against you for the rest of your turn. You could use your dash action, move up, attack a creature, and then move away. When they try to engage you again, you can use your brace attack. So my suggestion, if you're going to move away from your allies, try and end your turn next to them so that you can get your Sentinel opportunity attack off as well. You got plenty of options to try and get as many chances to get that extra attack off during an opponent's round. We also get Rakish Audacity. Starting at 3rd level, your confidence propels you into battle, and you can give yourself a bonus to your initiative rolls equal to your charisma modifier. That's why we took that 14 in charisma, in addition to some of those charisma-based skills, which we're going to circle back to in a couple more levels. We also get a different way to sneak attack. We don't need advantage on the attack rolls to use our sneak attack against a creature if you're within 5 feet of it and no other creatures are within 5 feet of you, and you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll. This makes us a sneak attack machine. We've got so many chances to do what we want to do. It's really starting to be fun. Another thing to note about this level is our sneak attack die increases to 2d6, and it will continue to increase every other rogue level we take. At our next level, we get an ability score increase. We are going to cap out our dexterity to 20. And then for the rest of our career, we're going to stick with Rogue. I'm not going to go over everything, but I'll show you some of the highlights. At 6th level Rogue, we get 2 more expertise. I would put 1 in Persuasion. That's really going to synergize with our Panache that we pick up in just a bit. At 9th level Rogue, or 15th level for us, our Charm becomes extraordinarily beguiling. As an action, you can make a Charisma Persuasion check contested by the creature's Wisdom Insight check. The creature must be able to hear you, and the 2 of you must share language. If you succeed on the check and the creature is hostile to you, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you and can make opportunity attacks against targets other than you. This effect lasts for 1 minute until one of your companions attacks the target and affects it with a spell, or until you and the target are more than 60 feet apart. If you succeed on the check and the creature isn't hostile towards you, it is charmed by you for 1 minute. While charmed, it regards you as friendly acquaintance. This effect ends immediately if you or your companions do anything harmful to it. So once again, with that tanky aspect, we can taunt somebody to attack us. We also get 2 more ability score increases or feats. For these feats, I do have 2 in mind. The first one is going to be Martial Adept. You learn 2 more maneuvers, which isn't that amazing because we already have the maneuvers we want. But the big thing is it gives us more superiority dice. The other one that we're going to take later on is Fighting Initiate, which same thing, we're superiority dice, because we're going to take superior technique. So to recap, we are going to take 6 levels of fighter, 14 levels of rogue. We're going to be using a finesse weapon and a shield. We're going to be trying to taunt our enemies off of our allies so they can try and attack us. And this is going to help us get some more attacks off of our turn so we can get sneak attack on our turn and on the enemy's turn, whether it's from attacking our allies, attacking us and missing, or even just moving into or out of our threatened area. We have a lot of tools in our tool bag. The thing about this character is it can be built to be tanky, it can deal damage, it can be a skill monkey, and it's pretty fun to roleplay because who doesn't want to roleplay a pirate? Thanks for checking out my channel. Hope you visit more often. Don't forget to roll the nat 20 on the like and subscribe buttons. And if you want to watch my friends and I play some D&D, check out this playlist. See you next time.